Let me tell you something that might feel uncomfortable. The heaviest burden a child can carry is not their school bag, not their grades, not their failures. It's the unhealed wounds, the unmet dreams, and the unresolved fears of their parents. And many of you know this too well. Maybe you grew up being told you had to succeed where your parents couldn't. Maybe you were pushed into a dream that was never yours. Maybe your childhood felt less like freedom and more like a performance, running a race you never signed up for. This is not childhood. This is emotional inheritance, and it's still something sacred. Children don't just carry their toys or schoolwork, they carry their parents' silent expectations. The father who never made it as an athlete, pushing his son to train harder. The mother who gave up her career, pushing her daughter to overachieve. The parent who fears poverty, pushing the child to choose safe over authentic. It sounds like guidance, it looks like love, but it feels like suffocation. Because children aren't supposed to be the second chance for their parents' unfulfilled lives. They are supposed to live their own. When a child grows up under the weight of expectations that aren't theirs, childhood stops being exploration, becomes performance. They learn to measure their worth by achievements. They silence their own desires to please. They carry guilt for not wanting what their parents want. And slowly they forget who they actually are. This is why so many adults wake up one day feeling lost, because their entire life was designed to meet someone else's standards. Here's the hard truth, okay? Children cannot heal their parents by succeeding, okay? No matter how much you achieve, you can't erase your mother's regrets. You can't rewrite your father's story. You cannot heal ones that aren't yours. And yet, so many parents unconsciously pass the burden down, and so many children unconsciously carry it until someone decides it ends here. If you are a parent, listen closely. Your child's life is not a continuation of yours, okay? You had your chance, you had your choices, whether you made the most of them or not, that is your story. Your child deserves the freedom to write their own, okay? Your responsibility is not to make them who you wanted to be. Your responsibility is to heal yourself enough that you don't place that weight on them, to process your disappointments so you don't project them, to manage your expectations so you don't crush their spirit. And if you grew up with this weight, you need to hear this. You are allowed to put it down. You don't owe your parents a life you don't want. You don't owe them the dream they missed, okay? You are not selfish for choosing your own path. Their wants are not your responsibility. Their regrets are not your destiny. Their unfulfilled goals are not your assignment. You can honor your parents without becoming their shadow, okay? The greatest gift a parent can give is not opportunity, not money, not pressure to succeed. It is freedom. Freedom to fail, freedom to try, freedom to just be. Because joy, creativity, authenticity, these cannot grow under pressure. They only grow in space, in safety, in acceptance. If you want your child to fly, stop weighing their wings down with your baggage, okay? So let's say this clearly. Heal yourself so your children don't have to. Face your fears so they don't inherit them. Own your regrets so they don't repeat them. Because the cycle ends with you. And when it does, your children will know something priceless. The freedom to live a life that is truly their own. And this was the message of today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And that's it. I see you in the next video. Bye.